It's the 9th of February and I'm uploading from Tralee, County Kerry, Ireland as usual. And this upload is one of 2 or 3 today because I've quite a lot to discuss around the days of election and voting and whatnot in this country. And the particular point I'm going to be discussing in this upload is with regard to the work of politicians and the work of citizens and how a person's good work is acknowledged and respected. Personally, as I've stated, I've worked as a teacher, and I'm tired of saying this now. These uploads are repetitive, but there's a different point being made in each upload that's relevant for the daily experiences that I'm having in this vendetta of defamation, slander of my character, etc., etc., and serious offences and wrongdoings that I'm experiencing also. But as I've said, I've worked as a teacher, and I've worked since I've been 15 years of age in this county, and I've worked in many capacities. I've worked for the government, I've worked as a teacher, I've worked for departments of the government, I've worked in a voluntary capacity, and in 2006 my role as regards my career changed ever so slightly without I even knowing it, and without I even realising it. My career path, even though very difficult, was quite worth it, because as I've said, in 2006 I started on my journey of recovery, and that's when I started helping many people, and without even realising it, helped people that I didn't even know. And as I've said, in this vendetta of defamation and slander, my character and my reputation and good name has been absolutely disrespected by individuals that obviously have no sense and no intelligence about themselves to know how serious the dangers and damages of defaming a person's character is, like they have done with me. But you see, the thing about this vendetta is that the tactics of undermining and isolating a person and ignoring a person and withholding information from a person is just one of the obvious tactics of misinforming people about a person. So that's what has been done in this situation. I've been lied about, and I haven't been given fair trial or just trial to represent myself and my position, and I haven't been able to defend myself against the liars that are causing a very serious problem in this community, that have involved very serious offences and wrongdoings. So, as I've said, my career choice changed ever so slightly in 2006, and as a consequence, I've helped many people along the way, and that work hasn't been recognised. The efforts of my work it's been voluntary as such. It's been unpaid work, and you know, for a law-abiding citizen to have contributed so positively to the community and society at large, and for the government and the authorities not to think it worthy or worthwhile even to acknowledge my good work and my good efforts while people are trampling and spitting on my rights, is very serious on this day after the elections in 2020. The other issue that I'm going to refer to is for victims and survivors of sexual assault, which I am also. I have survived assault, domestic assault and sexual assault and assaults of my character. So this is what I've also had to endure in this country. This issue that has involved the wrongdoings of many establishments that the authorities and politicians are fully aware of have inadvertently and indirectly facilitated assault, adultery, defamation, abuse, etc., when they've chosen to ignore this situation. Now, I've contacted all the relevant agencies, I've contacted all the relevant politicians and authorities, and they have chosen to ignore what is happening. Now, I find that very serious in 2020 for people to be facilitating adultery, to be facilitating assault, abuse and defamation in a society that I would have hoped had achieved the standards of civil society, which aren't easy. Civil society, as we all know, respects civil liberties of all people. So I'm just wondering, still wondering, in 2020, after all of the contacts that I've tried to make with the politicians in Dublin, and after all my good work in this county that has helped many people, how the Taoiseach, the government and the authorities are considering this a disposable and insignificant issue, while the liars and people responsible for defamation and very serious offences and wrongdoings against the Constitution are trampling on dangerous territory and wrecking families and ruining people's lives and careers and livelihoods. So for my upload, my first upload today on the 9th of February 2020, I'd appreciate it if transparency and the relevant agencies that are aware of the wrongdoings that I've experienced and the lies that have been told in this community that are unsubstantiated, and the dangerous circumstances that have been caused for other people in this community, especially young people, young children, and as a mother, that is one of my main concerns, especially when there's so much deceit and depravity being perpetrated by people that obviously don't know how to uphold the standards of civil society. So these are my uploads for the interest of the authorities and the politicians, for the interest of assault survivors and victims, for the interest also of women and wives that have been deserted and betrayed and cheated on, and for those legal representatives of individuals that have caused very serious wrongdoings to have a conscience about what they're defending and representing, because as a woman that has been so severely wronged and so severely violated on a daily basis, my privacy violated, and to be defamed and to have been stolen from, are all very serious offences in a democracy. And for authorities and politicians to think it's just going to be, insignificant after all my good work, I hope they understand the significance of what has happened, because there are people, after causing a very dangerous situation by discussing things they shouldn't have discussed, by imposing in family lives that they shouldn't have intruded upon, and by breaking laws and legislative procedures that should have been respected. So as a peace campaigner and as a humanitarian and as a survivor and victim of sexual assault and domestic violence, and as a deserted wife, unsupported, and as a victim also of medical incompetence, I'd appreciate it if professionals would address the mental health issues of people causing these kind of problems in society, because as I've stated before, mentally healthy people don't go around messing up people's lives. So that's my first upload for today, and I hope the authorities and the politicians are sensing my disgust and my upset at being treated so disrespectfully for all of my good work that I've contributed to this community.